Okay, so hi everyone. This is going to be a quick video. I'll try to make it quick. Basically, I'm just going to talk about Chuseok. Yes, Chuseok just passed here in Korea. I had 5 wonderful days off because of it. So, what Chuseok is basically Korean Thanksgiving. It's a little different in this. It's a little different from the States, but it's basically giving things for like a bountiful harvest. But there's obviously things that are different. For one thing, they like have like this whole setup for the ancestors, and they go. Everybody goes home. Like this is one of the few times where Seoul is actually empty. They say. I don't know. I wasn't even in Seoul. But they say this is when Seoul's empty and everybody goes to their hometown and get together with their family, which is similar to regular Thanksgiving. It is a family thing, but it's more secular in the States now as opposed to before. But I can't really tell you too much about Chuseok. I mean, I did my research, kind of, but I mostly did my research to kind of understand what my kids are going to tell me when I ask them to explain Chuseok to me. And it wasn't really easy because clearly they don't know enough English to clearly explain Chuseok to me. But since I read ahead of time what it was about, I kind of understood what they were trying to get at. Basically, they tell me about the particular kind of rice cake that they make and the praying and how everybody goes home and the big meal and all this other stuff. So yeah, and I like they explain Chuseok, I explain Thanksgiving, and that was my lesson for the 6th graders. But basically what I did for Chuseok was I went to Ulleung-do. Ulleung-do is this little island not too far from Dokdo. And if you don't know what if you don't know anything about Dokdo, look Dokdo up. Oh my god. Dokdo. Dokdo is a small island. It's actually made of like 2 islands. And combined the 2 islands together and they call it Dokdo, which is one. And the thing about Dokdo is this tiny island that Korea is claiming is theirs. And so is Japan. Yes. I don't know how passionate the Japanese feel about Dokdo. I haven't really read much anything about the Japanese and their passion for Dokdo, or asked anybody. I haven't seen any Japanese vlogs about Dokdo. I'm guessing because Japan doesn't really care. But Korea does. I mean, they really care. Like, I was making... Even all the textbooks talk about Dokdo belonging to Korea, and the English textbooks. So I couldn't imagine what the regular textbooks in Korean are saying about Dokdo. So my 5th graders are learning like, what a beautiful palace, what a long bridge. This is famous in Korea. This is a famous temple in Korea. It has so and so. Like they learn how to describe places. So one of the things that they're describing is Dokdo. That's one of their little places in their book. Dokdo. So I had to like make like 3 or 4 sentences about famous places in Korea according to their book, what was in their book, and Dokdo was one of them. So first sentence I put was, I don't want anybody screaming at me in my classroom. So I was like, first thing I put, it's an island it's an island in Korea. First sentence. Second sentence was, it has 2 islands, something and something. I can't remember what it was. And the third thing I wrote was, it's between Korea and Japan. Oh my god. My 5th graders were like, no teacher, no Japan. Dokdo is our land. I was just like, that's what this first sentence said. Don't attack me. I'm just talking about location. And what's even funny is like after all that, both classes corrected me, mind you, because I have 2 5th grade classes. My co-teacher still turns around and corrects me and goes, it's a big political issue, but Dokdo's our land. I was just like, okay. Like, I'm not going to change the world. Okay. Dokdo is yours. Dokdo is yours. Who am I to say different? I mean, right. So, on this trip to Ulleung-do, part of the package was to go to Dokdo and see what the hype is about. So let's start with my Ulleung-do trip. I left at like 10:15 at night from Seoul, and the traffic was ridiculous because obviously Seoul was emptying out for Chuseok. So we get to Gangwon-do, and we stayed until Jimjubang, the worst sleep ever. Like, it was just so uncomfortable. And then we boarded the boat in the morning. And when we got to Ulleung-do, we ran to get lunch, and then the people who paid for Duck-do had to run to the boat. Now, I'm one of those people who paid to go see Duck-do. And we got to the boat, and we're on this water, and it's really wavy, and it's really rocky, and it's just not the best ride. So we get to Duck-do, and they come on and say that because the waves are first they say the waves are very hard, but they'll try to dock. And then a few minutes later they come on and say the waves are too hard, we can't dock, but you can see from the window, and we'll let you outside to see Duck-do. Oh my God. I walked outside, and then it was just like, it is a rock in the middle of the ocean. This is ridiculous. And like these Korean people like falling on you and taking pictures. I'm like, oh, so beautiful. And I'm just like, oh, I feel sick. I'm going to sit. So I went back to my seat and I sat down and I went to sleep. And it took every ounce of energy I had not to puke. It was so bad going back to Ulleung-do. But the trip to Ulleung-do, I went through Wink when in Korea. That travel group. So back on Ulleung-do, that first night. Oh, cable car. Right, we took a cable car up and we saw, it was beautiful. I'm not gonna lie, Ulleung-do was beautiful. The trip was a little iffy at first because our tour guide was just all over the place, but she was actually really good fun. And like the trip started out a little rough, but it got better as time progressed. Like I think we just got used to her being her. So we did a cable car the first night, and I don't know what else we did. We got something to eat. It was like spicy bulgogi with squid. Right. Ulleung-do's main two exports, I'm assuming, is pumpkin and squid. Squid. There was rows of drying squid everywhere on the harbor. Just squid everywhere. I didn't see as much pumpkins as I would have liked, but I definitely saw way too much squid. It was just squid. Everywhere squid. Just squid. So I don't know how the locals don't get tired of eating squid, because it's just squid every day. It's just squid all around. Just squid. Right. The second day we went trekking. I wish someone would explain trekking to me before I went trekking. Basically, it's between a walk and a hike. More so a hike than a walk, I guess, depending where you go. But first, we walked up these crazy amount of stairs, took pictures of the view. It's all about the view, because the island is very beautiful. Once you get to the top of whatever you're climbing, it's a beautiful sight to see. It's just, you have to climb it. And Korea, they love hiking. Anybody will tell you Koreans love to hike. I do not like to hike. It's just, yeah, I'm not doing it. But the trek, it was it was nice. It was just like, when is it over? When is it over? I'm so out of shape. But we did the trek, and they told us a coastal walk, but we never got that coastal walk. Well, they turned out to do something like a coastal walk. I didn't walk it. I stayed on the bus because I did enough trekking for one day. I'm not walking anywhere else. So we stayed on the bus, the lazy ones, and we took pictures from the bus, and he let us out at certain sites of top places and took more pictures. And then we went on the monorail. Right. One thing you have to realize when you come into Korea is that people know English, but I think there's a way to say things that doesn't come off rude, obviously. And I guess when the language is your second language, you don't always know the right way to say things or how you may come off to a native speaker when you're speaking their language. So we were online for the monorail, and we were technically first, but this Korean comes and they like just push themselves in front of us. It happens all the time. Get used to it. Buses, lines, everything. They just push themselves in front of you. And like the monorail comes down, and we're like all getting ready to go on, and the guy goes, "Get back," and we were like, "Who are you talking to like this?" No, but one of the other girls were like, "No, no, just leave it alone, just leave it alone, just leave it alone." I'm pretty sure all the foreigners who were, actually everybody was foreigners, but the one girl, I mean, she was foreign too, but she was like Korean descent, were ready to like snap on this guy because he had no idea, like how rude he came off to us. Like, that's not how you talk to people, and everybody felt that way. But anyway, we got on the monorail, and we went all the way up. I think we talked smack too. And then we did some walking. We went and we found this gold, this gold squid at the top of this, I don't know, observatory, and it was just so random to us. It was like just golden squid just chilling there. I mean, we all took pictures of it and made inappropriate jokes about squid. Anyway, so we all took pictures of it, and like the same girl told us to like relax, not to get mad at the guy, like read the sign, and it was like dancing squid. We were like, dancing squid? This doesn't look like a dancing squid. It was look like a regular squid. It was like, where do you see dancing at? Nowhere. Anyway, so yeah, a dancing squid. Then we took the monorail back down, and then we did like a partial coastal walk, which is a little freaky because, I mean, it's basically you're walking on like steel railings and like a steel footpath that's attached to rocks, and underneath you is rocks and crashing waves. I mean, it's beautiful, don't get me wrong, but if that sort of thing freaks you out like it does me, it is not that beautiful. Anyway, but it makes for great pictures if you swallow your fear and do it. And what else? We had, oh, right, the best part, which we thought wasn't going to work, was the barbecue. So it was Chuseok. This is like Chuseok, like the moon is big and bright, and everybody's like, happy Chuseok. And we decided to have like a barbecue out by the water in the harbor, and we had samgyeopsal, and we didn't think it was going to work because they brought this little one burner, and we're like, there's 20 something of us, what are we going to do with one burner? But it all worked out fine. The burner was just there to heat the coals. It worked out great. Absolutely great. It was like one of the best nights. I think that was like the main turning point in the trip was Chuseok night. It was the best. Like, everybody bonded. We all ate. We joked. We laughed. We like fireworks. Don't ask. And then some of us left and went to go sing Noribong. This is what I mean by my guide is crazy. We all went. Some of us left and we sang Noribong until like midnight. And then we woke up the next day. And the people went hiking at like 6. I wasn't one of them. Instead, I did the free time because I wasn't going back on another boat to see another island. So we had like free time. So basically walked to like the lighthouse, and then we went to like a pumpkin factory where we were supposed to see where they make like the pumpkin bread. We didn't see that. We ended up just buying pumpkin bread. Which, by the way, I brought back for I bought it for all the teachers. And my co-teacher, when I told her it was pumpkin bread, she took half and then gave the other half to the principal and vice principal. Which kind of defeated the purpose because it was for everybody. Whatever, the principal and vice principal thanked me. They loved it. And I bought jelly candies back for my students. My 5th graders ate like 6. And it was only 3. Yeah. It wasn't the whole 5th grade class. It was just 3. Anyway, so what else happened? Oh yeah, we went to like the botanical gardens, and we had lunch, and then from there we went on a coastal walk. This was a coastal walk. You basically walk from one town to the other town through this coastal walk. And at first, it was okay. Like, it wasn't so bad. And then we get to, like, what we think is the end, and we're all just like, where do we go? Because our guide always guided from the back. When we did the trek, she was in the back. They're basically, like, carrying her up the mountain. She was always in the back. So when we finally found her, she didn't even know where to go. Like, she had to ask the locals, and they told us we had to go up this path. So it was like more trekking until we made it to, like, these winding stairs that led down. Oh, this is when the paranoia began. Ugh. So it's basically these winding stairs, and you see it's the mountain, winding stairs, water. Freak out of the century, but I did it. Like, I walked down those winding stairs, and the Koreans who were there were like, no hands, don't hold on. And we're like, you crazy. I'm having a nervous breakdown going down here. And basically, it's like these beautiful, like, arches that go all along the coast that you're supposed to walk across. And, of course, that freaked me out. But some brave souls were like, they found, like, a spot where they could actually jump into the water, and they really did. They said getting out was pain, but they jumped in. But yeah, you walk over these arches. I mean, it makes for pretty pictures, but if you're like me, you're just having a nervous breakdown the whole time. I basically ran over most of those arches. My hair is doing something funky. It never sits still. Anyway, but like I said, it was beautiful. You basically do all these things just for the food. Ulleung-do is a beautiful island. It is an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous island. With all the mountains and the, like, natural scenery and the water and the waves. Like, the coastline is really, from what I saw, was really rocky. There's like I didn't see any sandy beaches. So you basically just walking. You do like this whole coastal walk, and you admire the view, and then, like, you walk through this small tiny door, and there's, like, the port we've been at the entire time. Like, that's where our hotel was and everything. And, like, we walked through this door, and it's just like, oh my god, it's so beautiful. Like, even the port with the drying squid everywhere was gorgeous to us. Like, that's just how we felt after we did the coastal walk. And then we basically walked around for a little bit until it was time to leave. And getting home was such a pain because of the traffic. And I tried to get, like, I was in Seoul, the trains already stopped running, so I tried to stay at Jimjubong, and no taxi driver knew where Jimjubong was. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. How does nobody know where Jimjubong is? That was, like, the worst. So I take a taxi all the way up to Ulleung-do to meet my friend, who I was planning to meet to begin with if I had caught all the proper trains, which I obviously didn't. But she still met me there, and then from there, we got something to eat, and then we took a taxi back to my house. But the taxi driver was really nice. He tested my Korean, and I know none. But what little I know like a word or two. Like, I told him first Changdong, and then I was gonna take another taxi. But then I told him Ulleung-do, and he took me to Ulleung-do, and then he asked me if I was a teacher in Korean, and I told him yes. He asked me where I was from in Korean. And at first I didn't understand, so he, like, started naming the places, and I was like, oh, okay, I understand. And I told him where I was from. I told him where I was from, and then he told me where he'd been in America. And then, he told me to call my friend to tell her that I'm on the way, and then he asked me if my friend was a boy or a girl. And he asked me, like, a couple of more questions, all in Korean, and I had to answer all in Korean. And I can't speak Korean, so, but it worked out for the best. He understood me, and I gave him some of my candy. And then I met my friend, and then she told me about her weekend, her Chuseok, and that was it. My friend is currently residing with me. I mean, she had, like, I should make another video of what's going on with her, I guess. Or the dangers of even working at a public school. Because I don't... Yeah, that's going to be it. So, for you guys who are watching, happy late Chuseok. Maybe I should have done more something cultural about Chuseok. But, like I said, I had my kids explain it to me. And their English isn't that great. I mean, it's good, but To me, it's good, but it's not like they can fully explain every single detail of Chuseok and what it means to them and what it means to the cult, what it means in Korea, and why it's so important and the history behind it. Like, my kids can't do that. Not in English anyway. But they did do a lot of body language to try to explain it to me. So I give them credit for that. So this is 20 minutes long for no apparent reason. All I did was talk about Ulleung-do, and I didn't even give like great details. Or am I gonna add pictures? Probably not. I don't know how to. So deuces.